Hey, it's Matt, your average gamer, and for this video, we're going to be jumping into 9 fun and high-level builds to try. These are going to be awesome ones. I absolutely love doing high-level builds because they're a ton of fun to do. Did this one on Xbox, my character's around 480. I'll show stats after the equipment for about 10 seconds for each clip, but the stats are going to be the same for every build. For this first one, we're doing a Wild Strikes Smith Stripped Great Hammer build, using Frozen Lightning Spear as well, because you can mix so much with high-level builds. This is a really cool-looking one. We got a nice strike there with the Lightning Spear at the end. Let's jump into equipment and stats for this one. You can also sling this, which is really cool. This is an awesome one at a high level. We have the Blood Smith Script Great Hammer plus 25. Golden Order Seal, of course. You can check out our armor set. We have 51 poise exactly. You can go for more poise than that. Shard of Alexander, Two-Handed Sword Talisman. We have Lord of Blood's Exaltation. We have Rotten Wing Sword Insignia. For our tiers, we got the Thorny tier, Lightning tier. We're using Sleeping Pots, of course, to stun the Godskin Apostle. Stats are going to be the same for every build. Golden Vow, Halishaburi, Blessings of the Erdtree, Frozen Lightning Spear, Ancient Dragon Lightning Strike, and any other lightning spells. And next up here, we have Messmer's Madness. This is going to mix the Flame of Frenzy with Messmer's Spear. This is a really cool one, too. So I ended up having to go with the bosses that I had left. So I was on New Game Plus 7, Journey 14, and I didn't want to jump into a new journey because I was a little time constrained this weekend with the holiday and everything. So I decided to just take on whatever bosses were left. And it's still New Game Plus 7, but some easier bosses in here for sure. Really cool build here that mixes some stuff up. We have the Spear of the Impaler plus 10. We have the Golden Order Seal. We're using the entire Solitude set for 96 poise. Godfrey Icon, Fire Scorpion Charm. We have the Shard of Alexander, Phlox Canvas Talisman. For our tiers, we have the Flame tier, Bloodsuck and Crack tier. Let's jump into stats. Once again, we're at level 481. These are high and max level builds, so all the stats are going to be the same. I'm just showing them briefly for each clip to go over spells as well. Golden Vow, Halishaburi, Blessings of the Erdtree, Flame of Frenzy, and the Healing Tree is really good for this one too. So the only boss from DLC that I really had left was the Tree Avatar, who ends up beating me up a fair bit because I kind of forgot his moveset. I have not fought him in a long time. However, we're going to be doing a mixed build here with the Noble Slender Sword, using Flame Spear, using Flame of the Fell God, and Burno Flame. This is not my best clip by any means. We do get a lot of damage there to start out, which is really cool. But as we go on here, we're going to get beat up, and we end up trading at the end of this clip. I don't usually include clips that I trade with, but this was the only boss I had left that's like a real boss from the DLC Plus and New Game Plus 7, so I figured I'd enjoy the clip, plus it counted at the end anyway, and it's the damn blood-sucking crack tier that ends up killing me at the end. It's the only downside from that. If you end up with a little bit of HP at the end of a fight and you win it, odds are before you get to the Grace, especially if it's far away, you're going to be taken out. I want to take the time to mention now, too, that I'm going to be switching to Night Rain for a month with the mini DLC just around the corner, only a couple days away. I may do one build request video in December, so as like a little bit of a surprise, if you have any build requests, be sure to comment below. I'm still making a list for those. If I don't do one for December, I'll be back at it in January, I'm sure, because the DLC for Night Rain is going to be relatively small. But I want to give a heads up to everybody that watches and follows my channel. If they see Night Rain content over the next month, I'm just taking a break from Elden Ring, and honestly, the last time I did that for a month and then I came back to Elden Ring, the game was so much better again because I took that break. And creatively, like from a creative's perspective, it's a lot better too, because you get that break and you can then think about stuff more and go back in and you end up with more creative ideas for builds, and things don't look too similar, which I feel like the past couple videos it may be kind of blending back into that, and that's simply because I haven't taken a break from Elden Ring now for a couple of months again, about 2 at least or more. So Night Rain, the break's going to be pretty cool, looking forward to that, and then looking forward to coming back, because again, coming back after Night Rain is probably going to make the Elden Ring content even better, and we have the Tarnished Edition coming out possibly in March of next year. Creatively speaking was the word that I was looking for there for like ever. But anyway, yeah, from a creative perspective, it's definitely one of those things where if you take breaks and come back, your content's always going to be better for it. If you're ever looking to do a YouTube channel or anything like that, keep that in mind, because taking breaks is important. I realized how much better my content is when I do take breaks and come back. Even if I take a week in between here or a month on Night Rain and then come back to Elden Ring, it's going to make it so much better. So he goes down and then I go down. A lot of fire incantations there. Flame Spear on our short sword, which is the Noble Slender Sword, the longest of the short swords. But yeah, pretty cool build overall. Do a lot of damage this one. Get around 700 AR with this straight sword. Sorry, not short sword, straight sword. So that's pretty incredible. Golden Order Seal, we have 57 poise. Melissa's Prosthesis, Godfrey Icon. We have the Shard of Alexander, Fire Scorpion Charm, and then we have the Bloodsucking Crack Tier, Flame Tier. Yeah, it's the longest of the straight swords, 700 AR and Flame Art. Absolutely amazing here. Stats, of course, are the same for every one of these builds. Golden Vow, Halashaburi, Blessings of the Erd Tree, Burn of Flame, and Flame of the Fell God. So next one up here, I had to include Messmer Soldier Spear in some aspect. This is one of the most broken weapons, and it's incredibly broken at a high level. In Blood Affinity, it gets an astounding like 700 AR and 140 bleed build-up. We included different Blood Flame incantations here too, because it's kind of cool to add that here. And then of course we've got repeating thrust on Messmer Soldier Spear for massive damage. You're going to see that soon. It really gets amazing AR and bleed build up. This is a great combination to try at a high level. Probably can make the game a lot easier too. If you're struggling with any bosses, this is one that could probably take down Concert Radahn without too much of an issue, because of the fact that you're getting a ridiculous amount of AR, ton of bleed build up. And of course, just the physical nature of the spear and pierce damage is incredible. This is one you definitely want to try if you have the DLC. Pick up and farm for Messmer Soldier Spear, whether you're at 150 or max level. It's an amazing weapon that you're going to want to have. The best spear, and probably one of the only few spears that I actually really enjoy playing with in the game. This is a really cool Blood Flame Samurai type build with a spear. Messmer Soldier Blood Spear plus 25 repeating thrust. Golden Order Seal. We have the White Reed armor on there and the Casa Helm. You can check out our armor set. We have 53 poise. Lord of Blood's Exaltation, Rotwing Sword Insignia, Shard of Alexander, Melissa's Prosthesis, Bloodsucking Crack Tier, Thorning Tier, 55 poise. And then we have Sleeping Pots again. Stats, of course, are the same again. Golden Vow, Halashaburi, Blessings of the Erd Tree. We have Swarm of Flies, and then like Blood Flame Talons or whatever you want to add. And next up here, we have a Holy Twinblade build for high level. This is going to be with the Black Steel Twinblade, which gets an incredible like 750 AR when you use Sacred Blade, something like that. It does a ton of damage if you can get the successive attack buildup. This fight takes a second because these guys always run away from you for this fight, especially if you're trying to pull one and not get the other one. But overall, you're going to see the damage here, especially when using buffs. We stacked up there almost 7,000 damage on just a couple hits. And keep in mind, most of the base game bosses have decent holy resistance, usually a minimum of like 20 up to 40 or more. But yeah, this is a really good one with the Black Steel Twinblade where you're going to get a lot of damage, especially when you use Sacred Blade. Love this combination to take advantage of the great fate scaling it has. And of course, the Twinblade moveset is excellent too. I don't know how much you guys like Twinblades, but you can probably tell from my last couple of videos, I love the individual moveset for the Twinblades because most of the bosses in Elden Ring are really vulnerable to being able to get a successive amount of like attacks with Twinblades in between their attacks. You have just enough time because they're so quick that getting 2 or 3 hits each time is generally pretty easy. Now, of course, this boss is running away from me, but most bosses, you're getting in 2-3 hits and then dodging, which is much better than having, in my opinion, a bigger weapon where even getting in 1 hit is difficult. This definitely works out better for a ton of different bosses. This is going to be a great one for DLC, by the way, because it's in Sacred Affinity with, of course, Sacred Blade. Now, if you wanted to go a base game version, you could run this in Flame Art Affinity, but you're going to have 3 damage types, physical as well as fire and a little bit of holy, because it always has kind of stock on the Twinblade, a little bit of holy damage. It'll probably be like 80 or something like that, but it still factors in when you're factoring in split damage. Let's jump into equipment and stats for this one. Equipment and stats. And this is a really fun one using the Black Steel Twinblade. We have the Black Steel Twinblade in Sacred Affinity with Sacred Blade, preferably plus 25. We have the Golden Order Series. You're going to see that a lot, 391 scaling. You can check out our armor set here, 77 poise. We have the Shard of Alexander, 2-hand Sword Talisman. We have the Sacred Scorpion Charm. We have the Rotwing Sword Insignia. For our tiers, we got the Thorny Tier, Holy Tier. Let's jump into stats. And for stats on this one, we have the same stats for every one of these builds, but I want to do it for timestamp purposes. Golden Vow, Halashaburi, Blessings of the Erd Tree, Multi-Layered Ring of Light. And next up here is one for the Staff of Great Beyond, which is a requested one that I get a lot, but I hate doing this one at 150. Much better at 200 or higher, really good at high levels, because you're going to get over 350 scaling with the way we have our stats here. It's so much better that way, as if you're at a lower level, it's very difficult. You could do 45 and 45, but you just don't get the scaling that you're going to want with the specific staff. And of course, this is the staff that can run spells as well as incantations, so that's really cool. And we're mixing Stars of Ruin with Pest Thread Spears because they're both chargeable, so they kind of fit the theme here. That way you could run the Godfrey icon and get a good amount of damage from both. Of course, you're going to get physical damage with Pest Thread Spears, as well as magic damage from Stars of Ruin. It's a cool combination one that can chew up damage on a lot of bosses. Of course, this is New Game Plus 7, so this stupid dragon has like a ton of HP and resistances, but it is what it is. We're going to take him down without too much of a problem. I think he took like one try in total. It wasn't overly difficult or anything like that. If you stand back from these dragons, you can do fairly well, because then most of the time they're going to do the ram or the fire breath, both of which are fairly easy to dodge. Still, kind of hangs around at the end for longer than I wanted him to hang around in this clip. Sometimes that happens. He ended up backing up here and then spamming some attacks, but it's not going to matter too much in the end because Pest Thread Spears has a ton of range. I don't know if we get the enemy type range that they have from the DLC, but it's close to that. It definitely has decent range on it. We have the Staff of the Great Beyond, plus 10, just that, 350 scaling. We have the whole Solitude set on for some defense, Godfrey icon. We have the Magic Scorpion Charm. We have the Graven Mass Talisman, Phlox Canvas Talisman. Of course, for our tiers, we got the Bloodsuck and Crack tier, Magic tier. Let's jump into stats, which of course are going to be the same again. They're also on the right. And then we're using Golden Vow, Halashabiri, Blessings of the Erd Tree, Terra Magica, Stars of Ruin, and Pest Thread Spears. And next up here, we have the Great Star Smasher build. Now, I wanted to show this one off at a high level because of the ridiculous AR. So when using Blade and using these in Quality Affinity, on each of these, you're going to get almost 900, just a few points short of 900 AR, which is incredible, of purely physical damage with a little bit of bleed buildup. It's absolutely awesome. These Smash, they're amazing even on New Game Plus 7. You could probably run through the whole game pretty easily with these. Check this out when you see the AR and the stats and equipment and whatnot. They're absolutely amazing. You're going to get a ton of poise damage for bosses that take it. That boss doesn't take poise damage, unfortunately. 2 quality Great Stars, plus 25 preferably with Blade. I think if they are plus 25, actually, now that I think about it, you'll have over 900, probably about 940. Golden Order Seal, plus 10. And we're using the Raptor's Black Feathers here. Blade of Mercy Talisman, Claw Talisman, Lord of Blood's Exaltation. We have Erdtree's Favor, plus 2. For our tiers, we got the Bloodsuck and Crack tier, Green Burst Crystal tier. Let's go into stats, and of course, spells. And of course, stats are going to be the same again. I wanted to put this in at every clip, though, because a lot of people use this timestamped. If the timestamps ever appear in the video, they're always in the description. Golden Vow, Halashabiri, Blessings of the Erd Tree. Yeah, sometimes my timestamps just randomly disappear. They're there, then not there, they're there, then not there. It's not me. It just seems to be some kind of YouTube bug that does it, and then I have to change usually something by about 1 second to get them back. It's a little bit frustrating, but yeah, it does that at times. They're always in the description, though, so keep that in mind. For this one, we have a build with the Uchi Katana. You could use the Nagakiba for this one too, of course, with Bloodflame Blade, as well as then throwing in Dragon Incantations. That builds up on the moveset of the Katana rather than spamming in Ash of War too much, and of course gives you a ton of bleed buildup and a ton of physical damage because, once again, if you're at a high level, Quality Affinity is something that you really want to look at. It's funny, at lower levels, the stuff you're going to look at is mostly going to be one scaling stat that's going to be best, or stuff where the Ash scales with one stat. But when you're at a high level, anything that has that quality feeling to it, even if you get a Blood Affinity where it's like a C, C, and D, it starts to add up to a ton because you're pulling from a ton of different stats, and it's awesome if you have 80 in all damage stats or more. You're just going to start getting a ton of damage, and Quality Affinity, of course, is no exception, giving you a B in Strength and Dexterity. We have the Quality Uchi Katana plus 25 with Impaling Thrust. We have the Dragon Communion Seal. You can check out our armor set here, 77 poise. Shard of Alexander, two-handed sword talisman, Lord of Blood's Exaltation, Rotten Wing Sword Insignia. We have a Thorny tier, Bloodsuck and Crack tier. Let's jump into stats. And the stats are the same. We have Golden Vow, Halashabiri, Blessings of the Erd Tree, Bloodflame Blade, and then Dragon Ice or any other dragon incantations you want to add are going to fit this build perfectly. Last one up here, I want to do a Mage build. This is going to be an Ice Storm build that mixes in Comet as well. So it's going to give you a lot of magic damage overall. You could add different weapons to it. I added Rolana's Twinblades because they're a lot of fun when you use the magic part at a high level. But this is going to be one that absolutely shreds with Comet. And of course gives you a ton of Frost buildup and a lot of damage with Zamar Ice Storm. And we're using the Prince of Death Staff, of course, to get an absurd 430 scaling. If you're at max level, it's going to be around 460, so about 30 more. That 81 to 99 is pretty, like, I don't want to say it's not important at all, but it doesn't matter that much. It matters a little bit more for scaling on stuff. It doesn't really matter at all in terms of damage. So if you're looking to go max level, you can probably stop at 480, which is what I did, and be perfectly fine and just run anything that you want to run and do a lot of damage. I recommend that because grinding out those last, I don't know how many levels, 200 and something, whatever, it's going to take you a lot of time. We have the Prince of Death Staff plus 25. We have Rolana's Twinblades plus 10. We have the Golden Order Seal, of course, 391 scaling there as well. Check out the armor set here, 86 poise. Godfrey icon. We have Rolana's Cameo. We have the Magic Scorpion Charm, Shard of Alexander. For its tiers, we got the Bloodsucker Crack tier, Magic tier. Let's jump into the same stats, of course, again for timestamp purposes. And then we're using Golden Vow, Halashabiri, Blessings of the Erdtree, Terra Magica, Comet, and Zamar Ice Storm. And thanks for watching this one. Thanks for tuning into my top 9 fun and overpowered high-level builds. I had a lot of fun voicing over and doing this video. This video was a lot of fun because high-level builds are a ton of fun. You don't have to go through the whole respecking thing. You don't have to overthink anything, and you just come up with fun, enjoyable builds. If you don't have a high-level character, highly recommend it. It's worth it to get to around 480 to have an absolute blast with Elden Ring and beat up on some bosses too. Be sure to sub if you haven't subbed yet. I will catch you guys in the next video.